Hello and welcome. Well, I'm going to make a spreadsheet and go through simulation of trading the way the markets were. And I'm going to be using the dates from August the 1st, 2017 and to May of 2018. So a span of multiple months during the high times. And show you ratio trading, tracking trades on here, all that kind of stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to be trading the coins. So we have that of Bitcoin, the main one. And I'm going to assume, again, August the 1st. So if you would have told me back, say, July 25th, July 26th, July 27th, how do I get into it? The most obvious one would be, well, I'm bearish on altcoins right now, and I want to have as much Bitcoin as possible. Once the Bitcoin Cash comes on August the 1st, which was free coins, then we will we'll go from there, which is what we're going to do in this example. Now, the coins I think we'll say that we will choose to trade from will be Bitcoin Cash. And I got to know the order, so I've made a spreadsheet. So the order goes Bitcoin Cash. Actually, LITECOIN is second. So LITECOIN will come. I've already got the data, so I want it in this. It has to be in this exact order. Well, because I've got it set up this way. And then we're going to do gross coin. As well, we're going to do extra bytes and OK Cash. Now, extra bytes now is one that I don't think you can trade at all, given what happened with Cryptopia and then coin exchange. But of course, back then you could have. And then of course, OK Cash. And amongst it, what I'm going to be doing is the complete combination. Not trading Bitcoin, at least only during the key times. But trade LITECOIN against all the other four, Bitcoin Cash against the other four, same with the GRS, XBY, and OK. So therefore, the crosses, which we are going to be going with, will be that of LTC and BCH, which I'm going to go the bigger one first. So we'll go Bitcoin Cash's combination. And then we're going to go then for LITECOIN after that. So LITECOIN versus GRS, LITECOIN versus XBY, and LITECOIN versus OK. Which means now we got the other three. So we'll do GRS, XBY, GRS, OK, and XBY, OK. There are your combinations. And what we would do is you would put in the prices. So assuming, and what we're going to do is we're going to say maybe you had one Bitcoin, $2,500, $2,600 would have been the price late July at that time. Well, what I've done within the spreadsheet, I've already gotten the data. This is the data that I come up with. We're going to be looking at this every 4 days time frame. So August 4th, August 1st, we're going to start. 4 days later, 4 days later, 4 days later. I don't even know what the prices would be or why I just took. Okay, I just want to have it set. So there's going to be 76 different periods that will come along the way. Excellent. Okay. So then, the data I have out sorted. It is basically, this is the data that I came up with. So I used that program just to get it set up this way. So all I'm going to be able to do in the game is things like go like this and like that. And there we have it. I'm going to set this up for decimals of 8 decimals here. All right, so now let's get the ratios at the point. So let's just assume it's now August the 1st. Now you would own, if you owned one Bitcoin, you would own one Bitcoin and one Bitcoin Cash, and that's all you would own right now. We'll get into buying and doing all these things now. So Bitcoin Cash versus LITECOIN. So we'll go this divided by this. Ratio is 10 then. Bitcoin Cash versus that of GRS. And we're going to Bitcoin Cash versus that of XBY. Bitcoin Cash, okay. We'll go this divided by this. And then I'll put the decimals in as I'm going to, I'll want to put them in. LITECOIN versus GRS, so this divided by that. LITECOIN versus XBY, we got this, and it's all pretty much the same, just getting it set up. LITECOIN versus OK. And then we'll go GRS XBY. This is OK. And I should do XBY versus, oh, this section here. Just because I like the higher number first. And sometimes it's going to work out that, like, for example, this could slip below 1. So be it. But I like to, if I can, put the bigger price one first, which of course I've done in every one of these situations, at least right now. Alrighty then. So if the easy one right now is I can just put them all to 2 decimals. There we go. Now some of these bigger ones, I don't really, like this one and like 4 digits, I really don't need the decimals on it. But I like the commas. So I'll change this to 0 decimals and we'll put 1,000 separator in when we go in the format section. Okay, so there we have it. So this is what's going to be used to determine what the ratios are, how the changes are in play. But we need a lot more with this. How about ownership of the coins? So I'm going to put a tab, and I'm going to call this just the, what do I call them? I call mine MISC. It's just, we'll put data coin, data val. So the coins that we're owning, we're going to own Bitcoin, which we start off with 1. I'm going to put that there. And then we have BCH, which we would be given a free one on the, that's what would have happened back then on August the 1st. So we have LTC, we have GRS, OK, and XBY. We'll get to this part in a second. We make another tab. Call it portfolio. And in here, we're going to put in all of the coins again that we had from before in here. I'm just going to copy and paste it this way because it'll be easier. And we want to get their US dollar value. And we'll put that in here. So USD value. So Bitcoin, I'm just going to equals this. And then it'll come up like that. Now for these ones, this is pretty easy. I'm just going to go equals, so I'm going to take the price in here for LITECOIN, and I'm going to multiply it by its price in here. Which at that time, LITECOIN was $43.20. Now in copying and pasting, which is what I'm going to do the rest of the way, what's going to happen is, if I copy and paste this down, it would go, the next one would be B sheet 1, B3, multiply sheet 1, B2. Well, I want that on the left side, but I'm always going to want it to be B1. So I like to put dollar signs beside it. And that tells the computer, if I copy and paste it, to always use that. And if I just put it on a dollar sign before just the B, it would never change the B. If it changes on the 1, it would never change the 1. So I can go like this, and I can paste, copy, and paste it. So the value of the coin will determine how I'm going to want to set it up. So Bitcoin, I don't really need dollars or pennies. So I can go format cells. I don't want any decimals, and I do want the 1,000 separator. For LITECOIN, I guess it's fine right now. We got this, but there's not too. These are like cheap coins, especially XBY at the time, only a penny. So maybe I want to have a 3rd decimal on these ones. And even this, oh, this is so cheap. I'm going to put a 4th decimal in. Okay, so ownership. How many do we own? Well, what I'm going to do for now, and it's all going to get a little more complicated, not much more. I'm going to go to the data value, and put in one right here. And I'm going to do the same thing here with Bitcoin Cash. And now let's put in net value here. Say this would be equals, I'm going to push the wrong button there, equals this multiply this. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight this and move this down a couple rows just because I want to put on total value here. I'm just going to put sum of this. So there's your invest dividend. If you put 2,500 into it, you'd already be up 3,170 just for waiting to trade at this point. Or 2,600, 2,650 would have been the prices around that time. So now you want to determine how much do I want to put into altcoins, how much would I want to put in each altcoins, thus leaving Bitcoin back. So if I were to take of this 2,700, well, first of all, if I have 439, what would that work out to? That's one of the things I would think of. What's 439 multiply? How many, 4 other ones? 1756. So that would be like an easy decision right there. Do I want to keep $1,000 back in Bitcoin? And maybe I want to have Litecoin a little more. I liked Litecoin the best back then. Maybe put a bit more into that. So, you know, let's put in $439 into everything. That's what we're going to do. So then we have to determine, and of course what's going to happen is you're going to go on the exchange and just buy that much, and that's what we would add. But along the way, we can use this for a temporary calculation period, figure how many we would get for $439. Actually, don't want to do it that way. First, we want to find out what percentage of a Bitcoin is 439. So at that time, we would want to buy 16% of a Bitcoin. So then we can see, well, what's just even showing it this way, just the one inverse of a number. I know that it takes 60, I can get 63 Litecoin for one Bitcoin. And along the rest of the ratios would look like that. Okay. So if I'm going to take 16% into this, what I'll do is I'll equals, and we'll use the dollar sign again for D1 and multiply it by this here. So I'll buy 10.16 Litecoin. I've already got Bitcoin Cash, so I wouldn't need that. And I'll paste it down along the way. So now within Litecoin, let's just say I got 10.16. On the GRS, we'll say 35.79. On the OK side, let's assume that we'll take this number 59.64. And on the XBY side, we got 35,174. Alright, so now we got the values in here. We've also went out and we spent this much, 16%, 1607 even, 4 times. So we won't have that Bitcoin anymore. So we'll do this, multiply it by 4, that's 643, we'll say. So now what happens every time, I'm going to go negative 643 here. Now if I go to portfolio, well, the ownership is 1. Well, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go like this, equals sum, and I'm just going to flip it off, and I'm just going to put up whatever numbers, write a couple numbers like that. There we have it. do the same thing here, because in this part, anytime I'm going to increase or anytime I'm going to bring coins in and out, I can just write the numbers in like that. So same thing with Bitcoin Cash. We'll do it for all of them that way. Gross coin. And we can see all the values are at 439 here, but that's of course because of how we set this up. So equals sum on this for XBY. And equals sum on the OK Cash here. Okay, so there we have the values in here. We have that of what would be 3,169 set up this way. You could even maybe just play. I'm not going to do too much for fancy programming, just enough that for me, I mean, that's fine. Just center it. Maybe at times I'm just going to play around with the size of the rows in here. But generally speaking, the easiest way to do is to center all the non-first rows, where these are always left-hand, but can't say always, usually left-hand row assorted. Okay, so now we got to decide, okay, so we're going to be trading coins. So let's let's do a LITECOIN cross trade. We're going to go like this, and we're going to go LTC. And what we're going to have is all the trades that we have. So we're going to do, here we're going to do LTC versus, or BCH, LTC. What we're going to have is the BCH holdings, LTC holdings. We're going to have last trade. Date, actually we'll just, yeah, we'll put in whatever. I should put a, I can do that. Whatever. I can do that manually. So date, then we're going to have the LTC, BCH, and ratio. So in here, what we're going to have is, well, the ratio is easy. We're just going to go equals, and we're going to go to the main sheet, and we're just going to grab it right there, equals that. So there's the 1016. We got to put a number in here for holdings. And how do we do this? Well, what we're going to do is, well, if I'm going to be trading this, say, evenly against every coin, I have to allocate a percentage of my BCH LTC towards it. So in it, we have everything trading against everything. So in it, 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs. So the easiest thing to do is just to put a quarter into everything to start. So at 1016, what we can do is we can, we'll figure, what do we get? No. 60, I have 63.2 of these again, yes. So just to do a quick math, should be about 14. 15, I'm way off. So let's just put 15.8 in here. We had one BCH trading at 0, that, so we'd have a quarter of that. But what's going to happen is these numbers are going to go up and down as we trade. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take equals this quarter. So equals a quarter. What did I do? I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Equals 0.25 plus sum. And we're going to do the sum of all of the Bitcoin Cash in here. And I got 13. I'm just going to put a bunch of numbers. It's never going to go to 1355. But I got it set for that many rows now. This in here equals 15.8 plus sum. And there. And now we have it. So in a situation where, let's just assume that we'll just have trade, you trade some coins in here. Yeah, I'm going to trade 2 Litecoin. And maybe the ratio goes down to like 8. So that's just, that would be 0.25. No. If the ratio was 10 to 1, and I'm getting rid of 0.2. So 0. Okay, this doesn't make sense here. I only have 10 Litecoin. That's why. Okay. I'm just a little confused to was. This is 1016, which is this divided by this. Did I just randomly get 2 exact numbers that are 1016 to confuse the heck out of me? Yeah, that's so sick. I've never ever remember an example like this in my life where I'm trying to wonder, why is my math off? Why do I got 1016 on both cases here? But that's fine. So yes, I would own 10.16 Litecoin. Now that makes sense in the ratio-wise. So equals 10.6 divided by 4, 2.65. So let's do equals 2.65. Now everything's going to work out. So I was like, how am I going to get a quarter of BCH back when that's what I own? Okay, so now let's just assume I sell like, man, that's a small holding. Anyway, let's just assume I own 0.1. I sell 0.1. That's, or 0.3. If the ratio was 8, then I would do 1 or 0.12%. I'd get that many, which is 0.0375. Now, in reality, what I do is when I trade a market, I would be like, okay, I'm going to sell 0.3. So I would sell 0.3 on the exchange. I'd have 0 Bitcoin or Tether or Ethereum or whatever market I'm using, or decimals of it. I would sell it, then I'd have some, and then I'd buy 100% of what I own on the BCH. And I'd just write in what I get, and then I would do the division of equals, and we will take the big number versus the small, or this one, the most coins versus the least coins. And in this case, I need one negative, so let's just do that again. Negative C8. It doesn't matter which one. It's either B8 divided by negative C8 or negative B8 divided by C8. And it didn't work. So let's just try it again. This divided by negative this. Okay, I can see why it's maybe. Yep, so there we go. So you assume you make that trade. Now what would happen is my Litecoin holdings, my Bitcoin Cash is up to 0.2875 because I would have bought this. And my Litecoin holdings would go down. I'm just going to do some centering here. And I'm not going to do all of this on tape because what we're going to do is, I'm going to set up one right now, And then in the next video, I'll have a few more of them ready to open to go this way. So I will complete this video now, well, in a few minutes. And what we're going to do for the next part is when we start the next one, I'll have all of the crossings done this way. Every single coin I would put in, I would allocate, of course, on the portfolio, a quarter of everything that I own to go to every coin. So with extra bytes, 35,175, I'm dividing that by 4. We're looking at 9 times 4 is 36, so 8,000 and change on each one. Okay, cash, we'd be looking at almost 1,500 on each one, and so on and so forth, with this one being almost 900 on each one. But we notice here, though, that it still says that I own 10.16 Litecoin, and I only own 1 Bitcoin Cash. We'll fix that in the next part. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.